Alrighty, with the first half of 2.2 just about to be over, with that meaning the Robin and Topaz rerun is going to be gone, I wanted to give my final thoughts about using Robin. I've used her mainly on the follow-up team because that's where she excels, but I have tried her a bit on other teams as well. And yeah, that's all I gotta say before I get into the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this. Let's get straight into it. So originally, when we did get Robin's kit and all that, I expected her to be good, but I honestly didn't think how good she would be at the time. I was like, the damage she provides is like okay. She gives 50% damage off the skill, that's pretty cool. The crit damage from the talent, that's alright. Mainly, I only looked at the concerto state giving everyone an immediate action for the team. 100% action events for the entire team, letting everyone attack again. I'm like, damn, this is gonna open some crazy team ideas. But besides that, I wasn't really thinking much of her. I'm like, that's kind of what she does. She does do additional physical damage. She gives everyone an attack. And I'm like, the multipliers don't seem that great. So originally, I didn't expect her to be anywhere near as good. I thought she probably would be somewhere little below Bronya level. And I thought definitely not anywhere near Sparkle or Rod May level. Again, just mainly looking at her kit, she does provide a 50% damage dealt from the skill, which is pretty cool. The ultimate gives attack to everyone. That's a pretty nice buff, and then it's mainly just to give everyone another turn. That is what like really shocked me. The additional physical damage, I didn't really think much of it at first. And then the talent, I also didn't really think much of it because it's just 20% crit rate. On paper, it's kind of whatever. And then especially with the steep energy requirement, with her also being able to not do anything when she's in her ult, but her also being able to regenerate energy from her talent when anyone else attacks. I thought maybe uptime and such like that is going to be a bit of an issue, and so I'm not thinking she's going to be too crazy. I was kind of thinking she would only open some niche possibilities, but oh boy was I wrong. And when you look at her bonus abilities, the one that gives you 25% action forward practically makes it to where you don't need speed boots, which is really nice. Giving the attack percent boots gives a nice more bonus from the ultimate. And then while the concerto state's active, the crit damage dealt when people launch a follow-up attack is increased by 25%. That's honestly very negligible if you're not using a follow-up attack team. I didn't think much of that either. I'm like, is this really going to benefit the follow-up attack team too much? But then in the end, it turns out she is best on follow-up attack teams anyways. Not just because of that, but the fact that you can get the most additional physical damage dealt because of all the follow-up attacks that do go out. And it's also the team to easily keep her all up. So eventually all of this was playing together and I'm like, okay, she sounds better than I thought, but I still like thought she'd be like at best Bronya level. So just on paper, I mainly just looked at the give everyone another turn. Besides that, I didn't really think much of the buffs. And then she finally released where I got to use her E0S1. I also tried her a bit E0S0. And then at that same time I got Topaz, so I was able to run the optimal follow-up team being Ratio, Topaz, Aventurine, and Robin. And my first time using it, I quite literally took back everything I said. Originally, I thought, okay, she's going to be really nice on a follow-up team, but it doesn't seem like it's going to provide that much compared to someone like Ruan Mei, where you could just run that team and then put Ruan Mei instead of Robin. While yes, that still works fantastic, the difference Robin brings compared to Ruan Mei on this team is just so much better than I thought it is. Again, 25% crit damage dealt, that part doesn't really matter. But because the follow-up team repeatedly just gets extra attacks and attacks from Ratio follow-up, Topaz follow-up, Aventurine follow-up, you are constantly regenerating energy for Robin, and it's very easy to have uptime on the ultimate because of this. And since everyone on the follow-up team can really benefit from the action forward, well, again, any DPS can, but on the follow-up team, if you have Topaz again, if you don't have the debuff applied to a certain someone, you can switch it or you can apply it again. With Dr. Ratio, you get to use the skill and get a hard-hitting follow-up attack right after that. And then with Aventurine, you can attack or use the skill or whatever you want to do to reset the amount he gains from anyone else using a follow-up attack because he has a maximum of 3 per turn. So now with the extra advance for the entire team, you get to attack with him again so he can get more charges for his follow-up attack because you reset that limit. So now Robin all practically making it to where Aventurine can recap that, especially as someone that has an E6 Aventurine, so mine is practically a main DPS. I want to make sure he gets as many turns as possible, so that's uncapped at least, because I want him to deal as much follow-up attacks as possible because mine does a lot of damage. And with how many turns Topaz can get because of how fast she is and how fast Numby can be, with Dr. Ratio also attacking and with his ultimate active, getting a lot more follow-up attacks like that, it is really easy to get the 3-turn limit Aventurine has, but with the ultimate from Robin, helps to deal with that a bit. And then the buffs provided because you're also constantly doing follow-up attacks, and the follow-up attacks do indeed proc the extra thing from Robin's ult, doing the additional physical damage. So you are consistently doing additional physical damage with the hard-hitting Dr. Ratio single target follow-up attacks, the damage Topaz does, and the damage Aventurine does. Everything you're doing is applying that, so you're constantly dealing the physical damage, even when it's not actually your turn. So it could be the enemy's turn, they're hitting you, Aventurine follow-up attack, the additional physical damage procs. Numby randomly attacks before anyone else goes, boom, additional physical damage procs. And then when you do add the talent plus the follow-up increase for crit damage dealt, it does definitely add up to a nice amount. And as I did mention, the action forward from Robin is so nice because you're literally able to proc the skill, giving everyone a 50% damage dealt increase for 3 turns before anyone else goes, pretty much. And since when Robin is in the ult, she doesn't actually attack, so she's not actually using up turns until the timer is up from the action order bar. So while she is in her ult, the skill is practically permanently up. So you use the skill, you do some attacks, and then eventually her ultimate is ready, you use it, everyone in her team has an action again, and that skill is still active. Once the concerto timer is finally done and she exits the ult, that's the first time it finally takes a charge. And on a follow-up team, you can practically make it to where you can get that ult every single time for each turn charge. You can get that ult easily 2 to 3 times while one skill is active. So you barely ever have to use a skill past the beginning of the battle with Robin. So just tying that, getting the skill right away, giving everyone 50% damage bonus, everyone gets to attack, deal their damage, and then by then Robin is ready, gives everyone another turn to attack, gives everyone attack, gives crit damage dealt to the follow-up attacks, the talent's already giving everyone 20% crit damage, and then additional physical damage for every time anyone attacks the enemy. So just everything playing perfectly, and oh my god, don't even get me started in Pure Fiction. In Pure Fiction, the extra damage is so helpful just to wiggle the little room you might not have done. The 0 cycles is so much easier with Robin. And so just practically everything I expected, she's just blown my expectations entirely. She works fine on other teams too. I'm not really going to get into them because I will say she still does have her issues on other teams that are not follow-up characters. Because it is pretty hard to have uptime on the ult because you're not consistently doing attacks. So having a bit of the uptime on the ult can prove to be a bit difficult. But she still does provide a nice bonus for everyone. Damage dealt, crit damage, all that stuff. So she is still way more than usable. It's not like you're throwing by using her over anyone else. So even outside of follow-up attack teams, she still does perform well. Obviously, the follow-up attack team is just her best team. So on that team, she will be performing best. And I'm pretty biased to the follow-up attack team because it is my favorite team in the game. Like eons above any other team. So I was really happy with Robin's performance. I guess the last thing to say is, do I like using her more than the other Harmony supports? So Bronya, Ruan Mei, Sparkle. I will say, I like using her more than everyone except Sparkle. I still think Sparkle has my #1 favorite Harmony support slot thus far. She just giving the crit damage, all the stuff that she does. It's not a Sparkle video, so I'm not going to get into it too much. The stuff she provides is just so good. As someone especially that usually uses DPS as that crit, I don't really care for Dot and stuff that don't use Sparkle anyways. So Sparkle is still easily #1 for me. But I definitely think Robin is #2. Is it because she's mainly best on a follow-up attack team and makes that team a lot better? Probably. I still think Robin is a tier higher than someone like Bronya, but I still would not put her in the realm of Ruan Mei and Sparkle. But that doesn't mean saying they're bad. That's also not saying Bronya is bad, by the way. Don't come at me for saying that. If you can't comprehend that, that's on you. I definitely do think she is a step better than Bronya, but again, I don't think she's in the level of Ruan Mei and Sparkle. So, final impressions, very happy, broke my expectations in practically every way, didn't expect her to be this good, she is a lot better than I thought she'd be. Definitely not going to be a Harmony support that I regret picking up, because I will not lie, I regret picking up Ruan Mei more than I regret picking up Robin at all. I'm not saying that's a bad thing because now I have Ruan Mei just sitting here, and that's going to change when BOOTHILL comes up because I just don't really have a reason to use Ruan Mei anymore. My first team is usually always using Sparkle, and my second one is always a follow-up attack team, so it's always using Robin. But with BOOTHILL, that's going to change. Ruan Mei is practically be on that team every single time. But again, overall, Robin is probably my second favorite Harmony support to use. Anyway, that's been the video. Let me know if you guys are enjoying Robin or how much you guys enjoyed her. Do you guys plan on using her going forward? All that kind of stuff. And yep, peace out.